Hey guys, it's Joe here from Majestic Big Productions. Today I got a new bike, and as you can see, it's nice. I really like it. It is a specialized, you can see, it's specialized brand, and it is a black. It's almost all black with. They call this storm gray with the words around. But yeah, I got this from Austin Bicycle Sport Shop in Austin, Texas, and yeah, now let's get into the parts. All right, it's Jacob here, and to start off this bike video, we're gonna run through the parts and explain the differences between higher end and lower end, just all the spectrum. And to start off, these are known as disc brakes, and what's different about these and rim brakes, which is what you see on most bikes, is like they have a little clamp, is these don't run out as much, and they're more efficient, and they're just all around better in pretty much every way. And there's two types of disc brakes. There's what's known as I don't know the exact name, but it's like the metal one. It's the wire cable disc brakes. Cable. Yes, cable.
And so that is what pulls, like, it's pretty much the same as normal brakes, except it's instead of squeezing the rim, it squeezes the disc. And what's different from these is these are hydraulic brakes, which is very similar, except instead of pushing the cable, this puts pressure on there's like hydraulic fluid in this tube, and it puts pressure on it that squeezes the fluid down and squeezes this really tight. And so it's really strong, efficient brakes that's what you see on most high-end bikes. And they're just really great stopping power on the trails. And used effectively, the front brake is the most important brake. Our next part is just the wheel itself. And these are Fast Track Gripton compound tires. The Gripton compound is the kind of grip and texture this has, and it's really good for gripping the trails. These tires are tubeless ready, and what that means is that most bike tires have like a tube running through it, and the benefit of going tubeless is it allows you to run lower tire pressure on the trails. And what that allows you to do is it makes your tires really grippy on the trails. It makes it grip a whole lot better. And with this and the Gripton, it's a dream come true when it comes to riding on the trails. And the wheel itself is a 29-inch wheel. There are different wheel sizes. It's really a matter of preference which one you choose. And to come with the tires, these are running tubes right now, but once we go through all the tubes Joe has, then we'll switch to tubeless. And this is a Presto valve, and that means stuff.
Yeah, so other bikes have Schrader valves on them. So I'll show you a Schrader valve on Jacob's BMX bike. Like you guys saw in Jacob's bike collection video, that's Schrader. It just has that cylinder looking thing.
Nub.
Yeah, the nub on it. And then on this, it has that.
And this
Very
is all
thin.
around better. It allows you to, if you need to lower tire pressure, you can unscrew this and push that. I'm not going to do it, but just know that is how you do it. And it's a pretty good thing.
Yes.
And what a lot of people have a problem with is that this sometimes breaks because of how thin it is. So it's always a good idea to carry what's called an extra valve stem. going up from the wheels, tires, all that is the through axle. That's what's holding the wheel on and the hub. This is an Allen key through axle, and some bikes have quick release, which allows you to take them off like on the fly without needing an Allen key, but they're not as secure as this, and this is just better because it's more secure. And then other bikes have the quick release, which we mentioned. And on my BMX and other cheap Walmart mountain bikes is just a regular bolt, which is not the best thing. This saves weight and it's secure. It's as secure as that one. And then moving up, we have the fork. This is an air suspension fork, and you can adjust the compression on the fly, which is really handy if you're moving from a different type of trail, like technical, real rocky, to flowy, real smooth.
Yeah, so you'd go like that, it's more squishy. If you go like that, it's hard, like a BMX almost.
Mm-hmm. And this is a really high-end fork. It's by RockShox. They make most of the forks in the world. And then moving up from that, we have the stem. This is a key part of, this is no, it's not the stem, it's a headset. This is the most important component by far on the bike, almost, besides like the frame. And a lot of cheap Walmart bikes have what's called a threadless headset. And that's like, it doesn't have these side bolts pinching it. It's like, there's this one bolt that you can like rotate. And I have bikes for examples if we want to do that. Yeah.
We'll show you guys that in a bit.
Mm-hmm. And what makes, this is really secure. It's also on BMXs. All good bikes will have this. You should be immediately suspicious of if you're buying a bike and it doesn't have that. You should probably reconsider getting that bike. And then this also has 4 bolts there, and this is really secure. It's what most bikes have. Like some of the old bikes, Walmart bikes, have only 2 bolts on the sides, and I've seen ones that only have 1, which is very unsecure. It's dangerous.
And having this going out like that,
Mm-hmm.
and having this separate is way more secure than just having it all connected right there.
Mm-hmm. And then from there we have the handlebars. And handlebars are pretty important too. These are alloy, I think. Alloy, something like that. These are really nice handlebars. These are like kind of bent to give you more, it's more of aggressive kind of downhill. Most bikes have them just kind of straight, but this one's pretty aggressive. And then most people, I like to trim down them with like a hose clamp. And so under here, this metal, this is the grip. And these are pretty nice grips as well. But under here, like most people like to trim off like about that much. Depends on how long your arms are, how like wide you are. And it's personal preference again. But from there we have the brakes, and we'll move on to the shifters in a bit. But these are really nice handlebars. And then from there, we're going down to the frame. And this is a Chisel, specialized Chisel frame. This is a really nice frame. It's really nice. It's like aluminum.
It is aluminum, yes.
Yes. And so it's really light. I can lift it with one hand up there easily, but it's a super nice bike. And if you go up from this bike, it gets to like carbon, which is crazy.
Crazy light.
Yeah, crazy light. I have a carbon bike, I can lift it with my pinky, I swear.
Yeah, it's that trick. You should.
And then so frames have multiple parts. From this is the upper tube, the up tube, and this is called the down tube. And then under here, this is called the bottom bracket. That's what holds your cranks on. And then this part of the frame is called the bottom bracket casing. And this is the seat tube. And then what leads from here to under here, like down like this, and has the channel top, that's called the chainstay. And so that's pretty much all the parts of the frame. And it's a really nice frame. And then onto the bottle cage. This is a really nice bottle cage. This is what you usually see on most bikes. It's really popular for some reason. You can probably find it for like $8 or something. But it doesn't hold your bottle that well. I've lost like 7 bottles to this. This one holds it in really secure.
Yeah. This one costs around $30. It's by Specialized, the rib cage.
It's worth it to prevent spending like 70 on bottles.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And then from there, you have the seat, which is also connected to the frame. This is a nice seat. And not much to say about the seat. It's just the seat. That's pretty much all there is to it. And then under here, this is a valve, right? Valve.
It is for brakes.
Oh yeah.
It's to put between the disc brakes, to put between the calipers, so it doesn't stick together, because it will stick together if you're not careful. If you pull it, okay.
Let's say you're transporting your bike and you need to take this wheel off for transport, and so that means you're taking
And
the
if you
brake
fix it
off too. And so it's just the caliper by itself. And if you accidentally squeeze the brakes, they get the 2 brake pads that squeezes the caliper can get stuck together, and that's a big mess. And so
That's why
put
why it
in
comes
the
with that.
calipers to prevent that from happening. It's a really useful thing. I should carry one on my bike, but I don't. And on from that, we're gonna go down to the cranks and the pedals. These are really nice cranks, and this is, come around to this side. This is, so it's kind of half and half. A lot of bikes have a 3x, which is like, imagine this, except it has another ring and then another ring. That allows you to do more speed stuff. I have it on my bike, but I plan on switching it to a 1x. Because when it's a 1x, because I have problems with my chain popping off a lot when I'm on the trail. And this allows you to maximize this chain ring to keep the chain on at all costs. And so if you come up here, you can see the chain, like the little teeth on the cassette have like
Different width,
and that like really helps keep the chain on very well. And I think it's worth doing the conversion between having like extra combinations of gears. And then onto the pedals, or no, the cranks. These cranks are the Sout Pros, and these are like, I think, aluminum, something like that, alloy. And these are really nice cranks. I don't think, they're connected to the cassette, and I really think these are, you can go into depth about those, but I don't, that's kind of all there is to say, right?
Yeah.
And then these are the pedals that came on the bike. If I were Joe, I'd replace these.
They're called Specialized Dirt. That's what they're called.
On my bike, I have metal pedals.
I'm not getting metal pedals.
Yeah. The benefit of these is that what's called getting shinned is when your pedals come up and hit your knees. And Joe's shins are clean because he wears pants, right?
Sometimes.
But if you look at mine are pretty torn up from my pedals. Because the metal prongs really jab into you.
Yeah, and it hurts. Makes you bleed. You don't want that.
So it depends if you wear pants. I'd recommend metal pedals. But if you wear shorts like Joe, these are pretty good. They do wear out a little bit quicker, but for Joe, it's worth the trade-off.
Yes.
And then what's great about these pedals is if we look at here, it's an Allen key. So most pedals require what's called a pedal wrench. And it's pretty much the same as any other wrench. If you look down here, like my BMX pedals, my mountain bike pedals even, you have to get like a wrench. And that's kind of a specialty tool, but most people carry like Allen wrenches because 2/3 of how your bike's put together is Allen keys. And so this really helps. Like if you're on the trail and you need to swap pedals because your pedals are destroyed, if you have like spares, like it's good. And one thing I forgot to mention about the frame is that you can mount a 3x to it because it has an extra bolt here. These are water bottle mounts, but Joe has it on the upside of his down tube. But this is a what's called a front derailleur mount, and that's what allows you to shift gears like through.
If you had a 3x.
If you had a 3x, but I don't think Joe's gonna ever do that. But continuing along, this is actually a hollow bottom bracket. That's what it's called. That's earlier we mentioned the bottom bracket shell or the bottom bracket casing. That's what holds it in place. But that's like allows your bike to spin. There's bearings in here, and like Stefan, a friend of ours, broke his, and we recommend getting it maintenance a lot because like it's $20 to your bike maintenance, and for Stefan it was like $100 or something.
Yeah, because
he
broke his.
to get his bottom bracket fixed.
Yeah.
And that's what spins your bike. There's no bike without a bottom bracket. And then from there we have the chain, and then so this is just a pretty generic chain. Yeah, this is called a master link, and as you can see, not most of the other, these are called links, don't have like this side. And so what you do is you get master link pliers. It's a specialty bike tool, and that's how you remove the chain if needed. And so it's always a good idea to carry extra master links around, and you can like just do like I've seen people like do it on their spokes. It's crazy. But from the chain, it spins from there to the what's called, this is in total like what we just talked about, and everything that has something to do with the chain is called the drivetrain. And this is an 11-speed drivetrain, and most bikes have like 8-speed, 6-speed, 7, stuff like that. And then but this one really allows you to climb. Like this makes it so easy to go up hills. And like this is like the highest chain on my bike, and it'll do the job. But this is like really nice to use, and that's pretty much all there is to say about the cassette. This is called a cassette, and then what actually allows it to change between these gears is this is called the derailleur, and it's pretty similar. I mentioned the front derailleur on this bolt. That's what allows you to do it if you have a 3x, which we can show an example of that maybe later. And then and so the derailleur is basically one of the most important parts on your bike. This is a Shimano Dynasty 2. And what's really important on a bike is if it has a derailleur hanger. This is made to brake under pressure to keep the derailleur intact, because derailleurs aren't cheap. Yeah. This is a very expensive part.
The hanger is like $5.
Yeah, like a couple dollars.
Yeah,
at most. But Shimano, to keep it more protected, if you don't want to run through derailleur hangers, is they moved it under what's called the chain stay, which I talked about later when I was doing the chain, or the frame. And then, and so what this allows you to do is if we come up to the handlebars, it allows you to shift gears to, like, if you want to go, and so that, like, connects it, like, through, like, and instead of having hydraulic fluid, this is actually just a cable. because that doesn't really exist, hydraulic fluid shifting. That'd be pretty crazy. But that allows you to shift gears, so if you want to go really fast down like a hill or something, you put it into what's called low gear, or it's a high gear. I don't know. It depends.
It's confusing.
That is confusing. But if you want to go uphill easily, because it's super hard to climb if you're down here.
Yes.
It's almost impossible. Unless you're like Michael Phelps or something.
Yeah, if you're on the first
swimmer.
gear.
But this allows you to climb a lot, and then if you want somewhere in between, you got 9 gears to choose from, which is pretty sweet.
Well, 11. Okay.
No, because if you're down here, that's 1.
Oh, yeah. You have 9 gears, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and that's pretty much it, right?
And also, having a 1x, if you do jumps like I do jumps a lot, because we did Ditch Hill, our jump system, our trail system, that since I don't have a 3x, this doesn't move, the chain does not move, like, to go for a bigger, whatever, this, to smaller. So this doesn't move. So it doesn't make that noise. Like the So that's what I like also about 1x.
Okay.
And same tires on the back and rim as the front.
And then even if you have a 1x and it's pretty similar to this, if you're still having chains pop off, a good option is to try to tighten your chain, because that's called loose chain. But that's more of a problem if you have single speed like a BMX, where it's like this is just into 1. But a lot of times, it's always a good idea to install what's called a chain guide. And it usually mounts to the underside of your chainstay, and that like keeps the chain aligned like that. That's always a good idea to have. I'll probably get one for my bike. But that's pretty much it with the bike. On to the rest of, or if you want to do anything with bike, on to the rest of Joe's gear.
Yeah, onto my bike gear that I use when I ride my bike. Okay, guys, after me and Jacob showed you guys the Specialized Chisel, I'll leave a link for that down in the description. But after I showed you guys that, and Jacob, mostly, I'll show you guys what I use to ride every day and my riding gear. So I have my Camelback. It is the, I think it's the 14 or 20. I don't know, but it holds 3 liters of water in the water reservoir. But today I do not have that. But it is a huge water reservoir. It goes on this. And yeah, so enough about the Camelback.
Like compared to a normal Camelback, that thing's humongous.
Yeah, this thing.
Like that's mine over there.
Jacob has a half liter, I think, or a liter.
I don't even know, but that thing's tiny, like compared to the helmet.
Yeah.
That's like a regular size Camelback. That thing's huge.
Yeah. So this pocket, it's a pretty big pocket. It doesn't have any mesh things. I hold my lock in. It's a kryptonite lock. I always have the key with me, but it goes there. You can mount it to your bike, but why would you do that if you're mountain biking? It's pretty heavy. It weighs like a pound or 2.
Yeah.
But you can't feel it with this backpack because it has so much good support, and this has ventilation.
It's a complete overkill bike lock.
Yes, but if I register this with my bike online on the Kryptonite website, they'll give me $1,800 back towards a new bike if my bike gets stolen while using this. So I could buy a new bike if my bike gets stolen with this on it. So yeah, that's all that's in this pocket. So I'll show you guys what's in the next pocket. So give me a second, I'm just gonna zip this back up. So in this pocket, the next pocket down, has all my tools. So this can open a bit more. I'm just gonna undo these little buckles. I can open this as far as I can. So this started with the mesh pockets. I have a Leatherman. You guys know just a Leatherman. Most of you guys should know what that is.
Multi-purpose.
a multi-purpose multi-tool.
Mhm.
And then after that, I have all my Allen keys, Allen wrenches, if you want to call them.
Mhm.
But that's what I do for through axles, handlebars, 2/3 of the bike, maybe more, maybe less. But
Essential.
yeah, and it's in metric because that's what they do. Because that's they do metric. So this has 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.5, 2, and 1.5 size in millimeters. On my Allen wrench keys, Allen keys. So that's from this mesh pocket. So to the next mesh pocket, I have a quick inflate, the CO2 cartridges. Comes with this. You put it on the top, twist it a few times, put it on the valve, and then twist it one more time, and then all the air shoots through it. And then also this on the back has 2 tire levers. These are what tire levers look like. Inside of this, it has patches and a little sanding pad to sand down the tube. Soon I'll go tubeless. But
And I'd like to mention something about the CO2. So that's if you get like a flat and then you patch it up with patches and then you fill it with CO2. CO2 is not like air. It deflates pretty quickly. It'll be good for like a day, but definitely recommend filling it up after you get home. And definitely fill it up with an actual pump.
yes. So yeah, after the CO2 cartridges and that stuff, in this little zipper package, zipper pack, I have my tubes. I have 2 extra tubes in here. They are press the valve tubes. These are by Specialized, as you guys can see. The size is 29-inch, and they can 29 by 1.75 to 2.4. My bike is, I think, 2.3 or 2.4. And you have 40 millimeter press the valve. And so, yeah, I have the 2 tubes, one for front, one for back, one for front. So they go back in this little zipper pouch. I'm just gonna put them back real quick. And then on to the hand pump. So this hand pump by Audu, or I don't know. But it's kind of essential to have a hand pump on you, or just a pump, but usually a hand pump because they're smaller, compact. Soon I will mount this on the bottom of my down tube. Comes with a little strap. But so this works. You have to pull this out, and you change it to Schrader and Presta. You have to unscrew this. There's this little thing you have to flip around, and so that's that. So if you want to put it on, you gotta find the valve stem, and you put it on, put that up, and then while that's on, you put that out like that, so where you can grab it. Then you put this little step thing down there. You step on that, and you go. Or you can go like that, and you gotta connect it to your valve, obviously, on your bike. But yeah, that's the hand pump, and I think that is it for that compartment. I'll check. Yeah, that is it for this compartment right here. So that's what I carry in this compartment. I carry that lock, and there's one more part. Is the first aid kit part of my camelback. So if anybody gets hurt while I'm with them, if I get hurt, I open this up. I have a cold pack right here.
Those come in handy when my middle pedals get the best of me.
Yes, so I give them a cold pack. And then same with the cold packs. I have 2 of them, 2 cold packs. Instant cold packs, you just gotta squeeze them on the side.
Chemicals.
Yeah, the chemicals.
It's one-time use.
Yeah, one-time use each. So this is a big Band-Aid. So let's say you get a big gouge. I once got one right here.
Because you got metal pedals.
But yeah, once I fell, there was this thing like that big. So this is bigger, but still, this is a good Band-Aid to have. It's pretty big. So after that huge Band-Aid, I have these smaller band-aids, you know, normal sized. I have 3 of those, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I have 3 of those normal sized band-aids. Can never have too many. And then I have Neosporin too. And then in here I usually carry a water bottle on my bottle cage. Right now I said I don't have the reservoir, the water reservoir in there. But usually I wash it off. I usually have paper towels too. Then I put Neosporin on it to keep it clean, and it's also pain relief cream, this kind. So yeah, that's my first aid kit, and that's what I carry when I ride my bike in my camelback. But onto my safety gear and my glove. So this is my helmet. It is by Smith. The Smith Overtake is very ventilated. It actually has 23 vents, it says on the website. Yeah, it has MIPS technology where you can loosen it and tighten it. And that makes it where if you hit your head while wearing this, if you hit it there, it spreads out through the whole thing. It doesn't just hit there, so you don't get just brain damage there. It spreads it out through the whole thing, so it's barely in. So I have my gloves. They're specialized, open finger, because in the summer, you don't really want closed finger. I mean, you might, but it just gets way hotter, sweatier. Your hands might move, your fingers might move around in the gloves. Really like these though. They have all this padding, dual gel, they call it. It's really nice and really good. So, yeah, that's what I carry with my bike and while I'm riding, and that's what I use when I'm riding. That's my gear. So now we will show you guys the references for like derailleur hangers, stuff like that, the brakes. We'll show you guys that now on the other bikes. Okay guys, so just for reference, this is a reference bike. As you guys can see, it does not have a derailleur hanger.
Yeah, it's just pure derailleur that's really breakable for the derailleur.
Yeah, this is a Walmart bike.
As you guys can see, it's a less speed drivetrain. It's got rim brakes. That was a little bit
Rim brakes to disc brakes. Rim brakes don't do it that fast, and you can see this is just cable. And then has no suspension too. You usually don't get that in newer Walmart bikes.
This is just a cruiser, but
yeah. And then also, as you guys can see by the stem,
it's
welded on to the whole thing, and it just has that thing Jacob was talking about.
It's a threadless headset.
Yeah.
And it's very insecure, as we were saying, with the 4 bolts, because that's what Joe's mountain bike has. It's what most high-end bikes, it just has 2. It's unsecure.
But yeah, that's and it has a kickstand, which
most high-end bikes don't.
Yeah, you can see rim brakes. It just
not the most secure thing in the world.
But yeah. So it's been Joe here from Majestic Productions.
I'm Jacob here from Majestic Productions.
See you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay guys, so this is Jacob taking off the dork disc or dork guard with scissors. As you can see, he's cutting down it, and it takes a little because he has to move around. But yeah, he's just pretty difficult. And yeah, so he was just having some trouble. Sorry if the filming's not the best, it's just his arms are on kind of weird angles. Yeah, he's trying to take it off. It's kind of confusing because it was put under and behind some spokes. But
shameless plug, go buy the merch.
Yeah, go buy the merch. https://shop.spreadshirt.com/majesticpigshop. Go look at that new logo. If you're watching to the end right now, I want you to comment, the merch is cool. And with an exclamation point at the end. The merch is cool with an exclamation point if you're still watching. And if you're not, you can't see this. So, yeah.